I'm Elizabeth Echeverria, founder of Living in Liberty, a nonprofit in Pittsburgh which helps women transition out of a life of sex trafficking. You're here at the Living in Liberty YouTube channel. Welcome. We are going to be talking about how to help end human trafficking. We've been talking about what Living in Liberty does to contribute to that. And today we're going to specifically talk about our safe home. We have a guest today, Tanya Thompson from our safe home. Welcome, Tanya.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's nice to be here.
Excited to have you here. So thankful for the work that you do with our safe home. So some people that are joining us may not know what a safe home is. What is a safe home?
A safe home is a place where women who have been trafficked, in particular in our case, can go and pretty much disconnect from the rest of the world for a short time. A place to heal. It's supposed to be a place where we are encouraging them to relearn how to live in a safe way for themselves for the future.
Mm-hmm. So Living in Liberty has its own safe home. Mm-hmm. What happens in the Living in Liberty safe home?
We teach all kinds of practical things. We try to encourage them to, oftentimes they haven't had a daytime schedule, so we try to switch a schedule to daytime activity. We teach them how to budget. We teach them how to cook. We teach them whatever that they are missing, whatever that would give them the ability to live a dignified, independent life. So we definitely individualize our program, mm-hmm. but then we have some standard courses that we ask people to do. Teach them how to exercise, just whatever needs to be done to live an independent life.
So I understand that there's a 5-phase program in the safe home?
We have a 5-phase program. So we start out pretty simple. We give them some time to just adjust. Mm-hmm. We teach them how to journal so that they can work through some of their issues. They get their own therapist and have those individual appointments. We're not a therapy place. We're a place where we coach them in everyday living and mm-hmm. give them space to heal mm-hmm. and to learn.
And so how long would a woman stay at the safe home?
Well, our 5 phases, we're a longer term program. It usually takes 12 to 18 months to get all the way through our 5 mm-hmm. phases.
And so why is the difference between 12 and 18 months?
Depends on where they come from, mm-hmm. what they need, what encouragement that they need, what kind of healing they need, what kind of mental health situation that they're in, maybe how far they've gotten in their education. Mm-hmm. We try to get them to the point before they leave that they actually have a job and are able to manage an apartment and their own lives before they ever leave us. And some girls are farther away from that than others.
Mm-hmm. So we're in the process of reopening the safe house.
Correct.
And so what is our biggest need right now?
Our biggest need is staff.
Mm-hmm.
We are close to having enough staff of women who believe that Jesus is really the reason, and that belief in Jesus and what he teaches us is the only way to truly change our lives. And understanding how much he loves us fills the hole that most of our women and most of all of us mm-hmm. Have and need.
Mm-hmm. And so we're still looking for some staff. We're hoping to open by September.
That's my hope.
Yes, so that's kind of our goal right at the moment. Recently, we had some learnings from the safe home from prior clients, and so we're planning on starting a new project called the Tiny Homes.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about the
Sure.
Tiny Homes?
So our safe house is actually very small at the time, and the Tiny Homes project would allow us to serve more women at a time, especially since we're looking for 10 tiny homes. The idea is to have a central community situation where we have kitchens and meeting rooms and that kind of thing together, but then 10 tiny homes so that the women can have some independence and their own space. This would
Mm-hmm.
also allow for some of the alternative, really best practices therapies that are out there that we're finding with complex PTSD, such as animal therapy, pet therapy, equine therapy, and a number of different levels. So this would allow women to have their own therapy pets,
Yeah.
because they would have their own space to keep them in.
Yeah, they could have an emotional support
Right.
animal within their space. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we want to incorporate the animal assisted therapy as well as, I understand that there's going to be a garden.
We're looking for a place that has enough space to have an outdoor garden, because just being in the outdoors and like working with your hands in the dirt also is extremely therapeutic. And then other things, possibly cooking, catering, maybe other things that could come along. So we're looking for space to do some of these different things that will allow them to not only heal, but to acquire skills that will help them in the job market.
Yeah. So they stay with you for a year to year and a half in the safe home. Is that going to be the same for the tiny homes?
Very possibly.
Mm-hmm.
It does give us the opportunity though to make that a little bit more, even more independent, and give them a leg up. So if they are able to be independent, they can stick around for a little bit longer and kind of be a graduate school as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I think one of the things that we learned from the current safe home is that um, our women also like their own space,
Yes.
right? And so the tiny homes afford them that as
Right.
well,
Right.
um, because we're talking about adult women that have been on their own, and so then to go into
Exactly.
a space where there's communal living, especially for women, we don't seem to do as well with that.
Right. But we also want to support them with a community,
Mm-hmm.
and learn what Christ teaches about living in community all the way through the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to develop that community sense and the fact that they need community um, to heal.
Yeah, and I think in this day and age, sometimes the community isn't encouraged as much.
Right. Yeah.
With the way that we have
We're
social
so
media.
independent, that we can live on our own, and have community that's not right actually
Mm-hmm.
in our physical space. Um, but social media community works very differently than physical community.
Yeah, I don't think it's a replacement at
Not
all.
at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you were to share one thing, whether it be about the current safe home or the tiny home project, or just living in liberty in general, is there one last thing that you'd like to say?
Um, I was very much attracted to working with Living in Liberty because Christ is the center of everything.
Mm-hmm.
We spend a lot of time praying. We look for people who actually believe that our healing comes from God, and the truth is from God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the truth, the lies that we need to replace with the truth, that I was very attracted to in working with Living in Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've only seen that as I've been here for about a year and a half. I've seen that more and more.
Mm-hmm. That it's integral to what we do.
Completely integral.
Yes, it's a part of every aspect. In fact, we have a prayer team that prays on a weekly basis.
And we have not taken any government funding in order to preserve our ability to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're trying to raise $3 million for this project. We're probably about a little over $500,000 raised for this project, hoping to get it up and running by at least purchase the property by the end of the year, and hopefully shortly thereafter get it open. So, but we'd really like to get our current safe house open. So we're looking for staffing. So certainly, if any of you, are in the local area and are interested in working with us, we'd love to have you go to the livinginliberty.org website. You can put your information in there in the volunteer information, and we'll reach out to you and talk to you about the opportunities here at Living in Liberty. There are some paid and some volunteer opportunities, so that would be one way you could engage with the work of Living in Liberty. You can also like, subscribe, and share this video and the Living in Liberty YouTube page. That would be helpful as well. I'm so thankful for you joining today, Tanya. Is there any last thing you'd like to say before we say goodbye to our YouTube?
Just please pray for us. Pray that God would bring mature Christian women to working more mature Christian women to work with Living in Liberty and seeking the justice that we've been trying to seek for God.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You have a wonderful day and look forward to seeing you next week.